Duke tomorrow night. Justice is making progress, but we still anticipate he's going to be weeks away from returning. Seth Towns continues to make progress, but again, and he's making good, steady progress, but he's still weeks away as well, we believe. And then Eugene Brown remains in the concussion protocol, so he will not be available for tomorrow night. Unfortunately, we obviously heads are really important to make sure you're giving them ample time to return, and we expect him back here, but it's going to be once he's fully cleared, so he remains in concussion protocol. Listen, we're excited about tomorrow night. I think we've got a lot of important prep here. I just want to begin by a couple remarks on Coach K. He's had an amazing and legendary career. I think, in my mind, he's one of the very best coaches and leaders in any sport, regardless of sport. You marvel at what he's been able to accomplish in his career, the 5 national championships and 12 Final Fours, and I believe he's had a #1 team as many as 24 times. The 3 Olympic gold medals, I think, are so significant. He's had an incredible career, and I think as much as anything, as you reflect back as a coach, you look at some of the people that have come through his program and that university, how impressive those people are, present company included here, Jay. But it's been, listen, I hope that he and his family have some time to enjoy retirement, and he's got a terrific team. I think one of the more gifted teams we've certainly seen here in our 4+ years. Great young talent, as well as some guys that are returning who have had some experience in their program. And I think when you have that blend, you have a chance to have a really special year. So we're looking forward to the challenge here.
Chris, when you spend part of your press conference talking about the legendary coach you're about to go against and all the things that kind of come with this game, with a young team, are you confident that they'll know how to handle the stage and the atmosphere and everything in the right way?
Well, I think we'll see, Adam. We played in some unique environments already, just a few weeks into the season, right? It's been, I think, really a unique start for me, maybe as unique as any time, certainly here, but also even dating back to my years at Butler. I don't know that we've had a start where you've had a true road game in a sold-out environment like that, really hostile environment as your, whatever that was, our third or second, third, fourth, whatever it was, and then back to back-to-back really great environments actually in Florida, with a tremendous environment, and really 4 of our 6 games have went down to the last couple minutes. So this is now another kind of unique experience for our guys in that it's going to be a home game against an opponent of this caliber. So this early in the season, I think poise is going to be important for us, Adam. Balance and the energy that's going to be required to play a game at this level with necessary poise.
What have you seen from your guys in some of those environments and some of those, like you said, those late game situations? 3-year games come down to the last seconds, the Xavier games of one possession, the last minute. What are you seeing from your guys in some of those minutes?
Well, obviously, 2 of the 3 last possession games we've won, so you're encouraged by that, really encouraged by that. And it's been from, as you mentioned, 3 of our underclassmen have played pivotal roles in those 2 of those 3 outcomes. I think as much as anything, you're looking at that and how we can continue to improve in that area. But as much as anything, you're looking at the balance of the game and how we can do things better and what we need to do better as coaches and players in the balance of the game.
Coach, I was wondering how many personal interactions have you had with Coach K over the years, and what might those have entailed in the past? And if you could elaborate on your relationship with him in general.
Yeah, limited. I've sat with him a few times on the road, and I had good conversation. Mike Krzyzewski, who Coach and I both love, worked for Coach K early in Mike's career, and Krzyzewski just loves Coach, loves his family. So we've had some conversations about Mike Krzyzewski, who's now doing a really good job at Elon, and just in general, anytime I get a chance to talk to guys like that, whether it's Tom in the Big Ten or a number of guys. I remember playing Georgetown when I was starting at Butler, and I went and grabbed John Thompson before the game and spent some time with him. You're always trying to pick those guys' minds. Roy Williams, I've done the same thing, get their thoughts on how we can do this at a high level.
So if you Google greatest college basketball game ever, you probably get in the first two hits, Duke 104, Kentucky 103.
Yeah.
And I think I'm right on the math. I think you were 21
Yeah.
in March of 1992.
Yeah.
So given your Lexington roots,
Yeah.
I wonder where you were. Did you watch it? What were you feeling?
Yeah, I was a sophomore in college at Brescia College. We were at our banquet. This shows you I'm from Kentucky and I'm a college basketball fan. So those of us that are college basketball fans know where we were at. I was in at a banquet, our basketball banquet. We had the game on in the background. So I remember the play, where I was at, where I was sitting, all of that. It's a memory that all of us who love college basketball won't ever forget.
So I've not heard of college mentioned. Not Taylor?
No, I transferred after my sophomore year. It was a small Catholic school in Owensboro, Kentucky called Brescia College, BRESCIA.
Coach, obviously Duke brings a lot of size to the table as well. I was wondering how you would assess your kind of interior defense so far this season, and what you might have to change or improve or looking to do differently maybe against Duke, or looking to do the same.
I think our biggest issue on the interior right now is we need to rebound the ball better, and that's not just on them, but that's collectively. I think our 2-point field goal percentage has been good defensively. It can get better, but I think it's been pretty good at times. I think our post defense at times has been okay, but needs to get better. Offensively, I'd like for Zed and those big guys to rebound it a little bit better, and I'd like for us to get to the line a little bit more than what we've been able to do across the board. EJ's been the one that's consistently been able to get to the foul line, but without Justice, that's been a significant issue for us. Is we've gotten outscored at the foul line consistently, and he was, as we all know, it was EJ and him last year. They could get to the free throw line, and that's a skill that's hard. If you don't have that, it's we got to help grow some guys in that area.
You're talking about Coach K a lot here, and rightfully so, but when you go up against a guy on a sideline that you admire, obviously you want to win, but that's somebody that you, like you said, you've picked his brain, and I'm sure you've done that with other guys. What is that like, maybe before the game, after the game, those type of situations, to kind of go against some of those legends of the sport?
I don't think you think about it honestly a whole lot. Even obviously, he deserves our respect, and that's why I made those comments and acknowledged of that. I don't think you think about it a whole lot in terms of, listen, the last couple of days we've been trying to prepare our team to play better, to improve and grow, which is what every coach's challenge is right now. That's really been our focus, and we've obviously this last day and a half, prepared more to how we can be our best for Duke. But we also have another game this week that's going to be a big challenge on the road at Penn State. So it's about our group improving right now. I don't know, you know, I've certainly coached against guys that I really have admired. I've mentioned them, Tom and Roy and other guys. I just think it's something maybe you think about after the season or after the fact, but in the midst of the game, you're trying to coach your team.
And Friday night, obviously, that Duke Gonzaga game, I'm sure you've broken that down. What did you see from them in that game that you can kind of take away for your guys?
Well, a high-level game, really high-level game. Both teams played really fast, and it's one of the things I think with Duke that I've been really impressed with is their speed. I think they've got great speed. They've got interior size. Mark Williams is a fantastic defensive player. We recruited him, great kid too. So I think that their speed, really both teams' speed was really impressive. And I know Paolo's size is impressive and versatility, and it's, I think, even more impressive we've heard in person. So it was a high-level game, great college basketball game, particularly at this time of year.
Can you enjoy a game like that, like we do, watching it for the clear
No.
elite level of it, or can you not because you have to play one of them?
Yeah, no, you're really, somebody asked me that, and you're really watching it as a guy who's about to play him in a few days, as a coach trying to prepare his team and look at best ways to attack and best ways to put your players in the best spots. So it's not a game where you can sit back and you know, have a cold beer and enjoy watching it. Really,
Chris.
I would have liked that, but not really one of those games.
Chris, you were talking about that physicality of getting to the free throw line and things like that. What does EJ do that allows him to, I guess, be that consistent down low? And does he challenge the younger players to kind of do that, or what do you see from him that you'd like to see?
Well, I think one, you recruit guys that can get to the foul line like that, and it's not to say that guys can't get better at it. Dwayne got a lot better with it, but you recruit high free throw rate guys. It's one of the reasons we recruited Justice Suing. Because that translates. Now the Pac-12 and the Big Ten is different, but usually those things translate. EJ has always been able to get to the foul line. I think guys can improve in it, but it's a gifted quality. Guys that can initiate contact, get to the spots, play with the physicality. We got to get better at that on the perimeter for sure, but it will help when Justice gets healthy, and EJ's always been able to do that at a high level.
And it seems like, I mean, over the course of the past 2 games, you guys have seen increased size, whether it was Seton Hall, Florida.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about what you learned about your interior defense in that time. Have practices changed to kind of plan for teams with bigger sizes? I mean, Duke's not small either, so what has kind of changed, if anything?
No, I think we've done some good things. I don't really necessarily think where we've been impacted is we've gotten in rotation too much defensively, and we've got hurt on the glass. I think that's been the biggest thing that's been frustrating to me, and something we have to clean up. But in terms of just being overwhelmed by size, I don't know that that's necessarily been the case as much as we've given up a little bit too much on the glass with our bigs rotating.
You got 2 more over here, time for 2 more play, and then Adam King.
I'm okay for a few more.
Okay.
With Duke, Kentucky, Xavier, Florida on the schedule, does that make you a better Big Ten basketball team? Because you can make the tournament with a great conference season.
Yeah.
Why are you playing all these people?
I'm not sure it makes me that or it makes me a dumb.
You're doing it for the fans, aren't you?
I'm doing it. One thing to recognize with these, Clay, I do like playing a challenging non-conference schedule, and clearly, when I was hired 4 years ago, that was something that was clamored for by the fan base, and something that Gene and I talked about. I think as you put a schedule together, you anticipate a full roster in place, and that's not to make any excuses. There were games we could have won here of the 2 that we dropped. But I do like playing a challenging non-conference. The reality is the leagues, respective leagues, put these matchups together.
Sure.
So we knew, based on the anticipation that we were going to be a top 25 team, we knew we were going to play a good team.
Sure.
that was gonna come in here, both in the Big East, in the Gavitt games, and in this. So, again, we don't shy away from it. We embrace it, but it does mean that there's, your group is gonna have to be tough-minded. And we're gonna have to embrace what this is, and it's not gonna look perfect for us either these first couple months.
Well, as you kind of just said, you embrace the challenge. It doesn't get any bigger, the number one team in the country tomorrow. How much do you talk about that? How much do you emphasize that it is Duke, it's the best team in the country right now? How much do you relish that chance?
Listen, we talk about executing. We talk about doing what our guys need to do to play well. We talk about playing with poise and aggressiveness. I don't think I need to overemphasize who is it coming in here, and I'm not being, I don't think I need to do that. I think our guys recognize the caliber of opponent, and the quality of program and the quality of players and coaches. What we're going to emphasize is what is our response when we get knocked around? How do we play with aggressiveness and force? How do we improve in those areas we've identified we need to improve in?
How maybe like excited or ready for the challenge with these guys tomorrow night? How are they chomping at the bit? You said they wanted to get the season started. Now they have the number one team here. How?
Yeah, I think we'll see, but I anticipate a group that's going to be excited. I don't think you can't not be if you're playing college basketball, right? They're certainly in the wrong locker room if they are, but we've got a lot of season ahead of us. We have again 2 games this week, but I certainly anticipate a group that's excited about playing a terrific team and program.
Chris, you've used a lot of different rotations of guys trying to figure out what works best. Is there a rotation this year that has pleasantly surprised you?
I think we're still figuring some of that out. To be honest with you, I think we're still trying to figure some of that out with a little bit with some of our injuries. I think it's pretty fluid right now. We went big, a lineup we haven't even practiced. We went big in the Xavier game, and that was a unique lineup for us, and maybe we'll look at that more given some of our injuries. But we certainly have all the analytics to look at all the plus minuses from all the different lineups, and I do look at those. They can change from game to game, but I certainly do look at those and evaluate those.
How about Jimmy Sotos in particular? It felt like he featured a little more prominently this past weekend. Where is he progressing to the point that he's earning more and more playing time?
He played a lot these last couple games, and some of that was due to we needed more ball handling and more perimeter players. Jimmy's got to stay ready. I thought he did some really good things. He just has to stay ready.
Chris, you talked about this being a unique start to the season with the opponents that you've had. You've also talked a lot about how this team is going to keep growing with the youth that you have in the backcourt, and your best basketball is hopefully still ahead of you. You've had seasons where you've had really big wins early, and that's kind of maybe set a tone. How different does this feel as you're going through this part of the schedule, knowing that you still believe that this team, we're not going to see its best form for a little while?
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's different than some of the quote unquote starts we've had, where you've had 1 or 2 losses leading into late December, or as you mentioned, some really high level big wins there. It's certainly different, but I think Adam, as much as anything, I hate it. I've said this before. This is really about our growth mindset in each and every day, and it's not regardless of outcome, because outcome is important, but the most important thing is how are we progressing? Are we as coaches diagnosing areas we need to improve in, and are we playing a few possessions better in those areas the next time we come out? That's really where it's at.
How does that challenge you? Is that an approach that you're, I guess, how different is that for you from on a year-to-year basis? Like, are you comfortable with always being that way, or does this feel different this year?
No, I just think when you play a schedule like this, you get exposed in areas earlier, and I think we have to have a resilient, tough-minded group, and that's my challenge to them. And when you have some new faces and some young pieces, they also have to have some perspective. Listen, there's a lot of teams that have lost in college basketball. Do I need to run down all the teams that have had, whatever, losses are, listen, it's the reality of college basketball. How are we growing? You're gonna hear me say that a lot. We have a brutal upcoming stretch, including 2 conference games that are gonna be really, really challenging. This is about growth.
And finish up one more with Bruce.
It appears Justin has made gains as a defensive player, which is what you've asked him to do. How many more gains are there for him in terms of getting his own shot when he's not wide open? Not getting his own shot.
Yeah.
Locating, finding a way to get a shot off, other than off the dribble, which is probably not in the cards.
Yeah, I think, I think he's got to stay consistent with who he is as a player. He's terrific at using his shot fake and sidestep 3 that he started working on his back end of his freshman year. I think I need a little bit more rebounding out of him, but I think his attention to detail outside of one game and his effort outside of one game defensively has been pretty solid. And I think a guy in his position has to be consistent with that. Our team needs that, and he has to be that. He's had some really great moments offensively. He's such a weapon. He puts fear in the opposition because of how well he shoots it. And we've got to continue to find ways to free him up. Sometimes it's hard when they hug his body, but I think he understands that creates gravity. His presence out there creates gravity and openings for other